Hi, AT from CNC at Home. A while back I did this forever calendar, and I will put a link up here to that particular video. And in cutting out all of these squares, I ended up with a handful of little squares. And I was trying to think, what can I do with all these little squares? So one idea that I had was to use them with my forever calendar to black out dates. So for instance, in March of this year, let's get this set to March, Saturday was on the 1st, or the 1st was on a Saturday. And then that left us, 31 and 30 down here. And so that was all fine. However, as we move into April, so our last day is on Monday, so the 1st needs to get moved over to Tuesday. All right, so again, not a big deal, except for April doesn't have 31 days. So I was thinking I could just take one of those little squares and put it in there to cover that up. The same with February. February this year was also, the 1st was on a Saturday, so it looked like this. But it didn't have a 30 or a 31, February never does. It also did not have a 29 this year because it was not leap year. So those three could be plugged up or covered with one of those little squares. So that was an option, or something that I thought would be a good use of it, but there's a lot of little squares. The other thing that came to mind was a project that I've wanted to do for a while. A friend of mine's has a unique set of pictures on the wall that look like Scrabble tiles. So they're about this big or so, so they're pretty good size, maybe 10 by 10-ish or so. And they have a letter and then of course a point value, but it has the first names of everybody in the family, and then they kind of intersect and cross at some point. I've always thought it'd be fun to recreate that. I had thought about doing it as tiles. This is a better idea. I'm going to use those little squares and put a letter on it and the number value, and essentially recreate a miniature version of what they have on the wall. So let's get over to the laser and see what that looks like. The light burn part is super easy. It's just making a square that's the same size as my little squares, putting a letter in it and a number. We don't need to go through all of that. But let's see how all of those cut out. Let's head over to the laser. And remember, give this video a thumbs up if you like it. The burning process left a little bit of amber char on top of each one of the tiles or squares. So I took it to the belt sander, got those sanded up, and they looked really good. Here they are all in order, just like they are in the picture. The next step is to get these glued onto another board and maybe put a magnet on the back of that. All in all, that project turned out really well. I enjoyed getting the Atom Stack P7 out again. It's fun to use with smaller projects like this. And this turned out really well. I've gotten it glued on here, and these seem to be holding pretty well. The next step will be just to spray a clear finish on this to help protect it, maybe make it look a little shiny or something like that. But it turned out really well. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you like the content of our channel, think about subscribing, as that really helps us out. Enjoy doing your CNC at home projects.
Oops.